Hiya, it's Amanda here from Lolli Lulu Crafts, and today we're going to be making this card using Hunkydory Moonlit Christmas collection, and I just think it's such a pretty collection. I love all the foiling and I love how the shadowing and shading from the moon, it's just so beautiful. So I've got this particular sheet which is called Santa's List, and I've also got a piece of cardstock that came in the kit as well, which I thought went really nicely with that image. And then I picked up a pre-shaped center stepper card that I thought would make a really cool but simple card for Christmas. Now you can buy these pre-made, or you can get templates or dies to do it yourself. It's pretty simple. It's just an A4 sheet, a couple of slits, and then some scoring, so it's not too difficult to do if you are making them yourselves. But to be honest, it's so simple to and easy to find them pre-done. Hunkydory themselves does them pre-made for you, and then all you have to do is fold them, so you know, you can look clever but really easily. So we're going to start off with our cardstock, and we are going to cover up the front of our stepper. Okay, so as you can see, I actually marked this originally with pencil, and then after having done that, it occurred to me that probably the simplest way to do this was actually to stick it down. So what you want to make sure is that you glue this, not this. You don't need to mark the pencil at all, so just pretend you can't see that. And then get your adhesive. I would probably recommend something like a wet adhesive, like your Cosmic Shimmer, just because the adorable scoreable cardstock from Hunkydory, if you are doing Hunkydory, is really strong, really heavy, so it's worth having a really strong adhesive to make sure that it stays stuck. So then just flip it over, making sure it's lined up at the bottom with your cardstock. And obviously you've only got a limited amount of time to make sure that you get that correct. So then make sure that's down, and just quickly flip it to the front, making sure that it looks level on the front as well, and you're not seeing any sides peeking out where they shouldn't be or anything, and that all looks good. So then just pressing that down, and then I'm going to get, you could use a pair of scissors, or I'm going to use a craft knife, and I'm just going to cut across the top. Now just be careful when you do that, one, that you don't chop your fingers off, but two, that you actually don't cut too low that you end up cutting the top of the card, but also you don't want to go too high either. So, and when you're cutting with the craft knife, just do a couple of goes across in the same groove. Don't try and get it all done in this at the same time. You know, don't press so hard because you're trying to go through in one go. You want to just do a couple of light goes rather than one really heavy go. It makes a neater cut. So that's the top done so far, not cut into it. And then we're going to gently lift the side, because the thing is, you think, oh, I'll cut like that, and you can do that, but then you still have a little piece to cut down here. So what you want to do is lift it up and cut that piece just in there. So that's that way, and then we can do it here without worrying too much, because we've got this section. Okay, and then we want to go right to the bottom now. There we go. So that's one piece cut out, and you can keep this because this is a perfect fit for these sections, so they'll fit, you know, they're perfect width. So don't throw those little scraps away, they're going to be useful. And there is our front piece all cut. Isn't that really cool? And I'm going to flatten this out. So you're going to have a white section, then you're going to stick it onto there. So we're going to take my adhesive and my adhesive on both sides, and then taking this piece, just sticking that on like so, and then I just want to make sure that it bends, because what I don't want to do is that the glue kind of pops out the top and it sticks it to the wrong bit. Making sure that's all lined up perfectly. And then this piece, and just pop that down. And then just making sure that's nicely stuck. Then again taking my craft knife and then just cutting across. So that's part 2 done. Now of course if you're doing this in different colours, then you obviously don't need to make use of these pieces, and then you should find that this is a perfect fit almost. Now it sometimes is a little bit taller because of the creases and the way that you have to sit it, it just sometimes pokes a little bit out, but essentially there should be enough just to stick that in there. So then again taking my Cosmic Shimmer glue and just popping that like so, taking and what you want to do is straight away make sure that you fold it, because that's what pushes it up, because the fold, it can't always sit right in the bottom like it does when you just put it down when it's flat, because if you put it flat and you line it up with the crease, it then doesn't bend very easily. So that's why you want to immediately just crease it and allow it to push up if it needs to. Okay, I'm gonna trim those down so they're to size. So there is our front all covered. Doesn't that look beautiful? And how easy was that to do? Now I'm going to leave the back plain, but if you wanted to you could cover that as well. You would have enough to do that. I'm going to leave it plain just because this is a coated cardstock, and if I use that up on the back there'd be nowhere to write. Okay, so then the next thing is just a really simple, we're going to take this piece here and I'm just going to tidy up those edges. Okay, so that's one piece that I want in there, but I was thinking that it would be fun obviously to have this bigger one here. I think that the proportion just works for me. So let's get our 3D glue gel and start sticking some of these down. So we're going to start with the big piece. I don't want it massively high, but I do want a little bit of height. So in fact I'm going to start with this here, because we've got to build the others to go on top. There we go. So we want to position that so it sits centrally like so. I think that looks good. Perfect. Then we're going to put this one on, and I just want to take the little notches off on that because I haven't done it. Okay, so then we're going to take this one, and that's going like that. So this section doesn't need very much adhesive on it, so we're just going to do that fairly flat, and then this section needs a little bit more. so that we get that height. Okay. Ooh. Okay, slight issue. Don't want any adhesive on that section at all. Hold on a minute. Just remember there's a big gap about here, so we don't want any glue over that section at all. So I want to just move that over. To there. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that adhesive and pop it onto our sentiment here. There we go. Okay, so hopefully that should be correct now. So we pop that there, and then if we look at the back, yeah, there's no adhesive showing through on the back piece now, which is good. I'm just going to move that over just a little because I want to see that lovely bit of the Santa there. Okay, and then obviously with my spare adhesive that I scraped off, I've popped it on the back of here already, so then we're just going to put that down in the corner there. And I think really, to be honest, we don't need to do a lot more to that, because if we put anything else onto it, I don't think you're going to see a gem or anything like that. It's already so blingy. So I think we're going to leave it just like that, and I think that just looks gorgeous. I love the Hunkydory cardstock anyway, and I just think this has turned out really nicely, and I hope you do too. So that is it, our card is finished. So I hope you've enjoyed making this with me, and as always, if you want to see some photos and other information, if you're on YouTube, click the link that's down below and it will take you to the blog post that corresponds with this video, and it will have all that additional information for you. If you're already on my website, then you should already be there and be able to see it. Alright, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.